Greetings. I have traveled our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, and I want to tell you about our solar system. In our solar system, there are 8 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The first planet from the Sun is Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. Venus is the second closest planet to the Sun. It has a lot of greenhouse gas that Earth doesn't. It is the least habitable planet that we know of. And the third planet is our home, Earth, the only known habitable planet in the universe besides Proxima b, which was discovered 2 days ago by scientists. The fourth planet from the Sun is Mars. It's the next generation of human space exploration. Then there's Jupiter. Jupiter is the first gas giant. In the middle of the orbit of Mars and Jupiter, there's the asteroid belt. The asteroid belt contains millions of space rocks called asteroids. Saturn is the second gas giant, and it is famous for its rings. And Galileo thought there were ears sticking out of the planet. He was funny. And then there's Uranus. Uranus is an ice giant, and it is very cold. There's the dark red spot, and it is tilted so the North Pole and the South Pole are actually the West Pole and the East Pole. Pretty weird, right? But scientists think that Uranus was knocked sideways out of its axis because of a giant meteorite or space rock or something knocked it. And then finally there's Neptune. Neptune is the coldest planet in the solar system. It is so far from the Sun, but at least it can still see the sun and such. Mercury is very hot, but not as hot as Venus. It is the closest planet to the Sun, you may know, and it is rocky. One of the 4 rocky planets, one of the only 4 rocky planets in the solar system. Then there's our Sun. Let's talk about our Sun, and then we'll talk about Venus. Our Sun is the star that we orbit. Alrighty, let's get on to Venus. Venus is the second closest planet to the Sun, and it is very hot. You cannot survive even without a spacesuit. Even with the spacesuit, you could not survive. It would be too hot. But NASA is making more cooling systems for your spacesuit just for Venus, and that is very cool. Alrighty, and there are greenhouse gases that trap heat on Venus, which makes it scorching hot, higher than the highest temperature on Earth. Then there's our home Earth, the only known habitable planet in the universe besides Proxima b, which orbits the next closest star to Earth, Proxima Centauri. And Earth has 1 moon. Mercury and Venus have no moons. That is strange, but true. It's true. Earth and Mars are the only 2 rocky planets that have moons. And Earth is the only planet that can allow life that we know of, and except for Proxima b that we mentioned. And then there's Mars, the next planet, the first planet that we're going to explore. And it is very similar to Earth. There might be water existing on Mars, and there might was. it might have survived like a lot of floods. Like the Mars was completely water, and it could support life with it. And there's Jupiter, his 16 moons. Then there's Saturn, famous for its rings. Yeah, Galileo thought they were ears. Funny. But we're not gonna laugh at him because I love him. He was the first person to use the telescope after the person who invented the telescope. Isn't that pretty cool? He lived in the 1700s. Alright, let's talk about Saturn. Saturn has rings formed from the Roche limit named by Egon Roche. It allows a moon to, or a space rock or object to, if it is in the Roche limit, Earth or any other planet would have rings. The planet would disintegrate and form rings. So say I had a moon orbiting around me and it got to the Roche limit, which is about very close to my belly button. And then the moon started to disintegrate into rings around me. It's kind of like this waistband right here. It goes all around the planet, or in this case, the astronaut. Now, Uranus, the sideways planet, it's famous for that. Uranus, Jupiter, and Neptune all have rings too, just like Saturn. Uranus has rings on its North Pole and South Pole, which are actually the Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere, which is very weird. I don't know. The snow on Uranus is not created by water. It's actually created by ammonia mixed with water. But the water is actually water vapor mixing with the liquid ammonia, which we cannot breathe, which turns it into snow and ice. And the outer core is actually water and ammonia, so people have to swim in it when they're astronauts. Then there's Neptune. Neptune has the dark red spot, just like Jupiter has the great red spot. It actually has a lot of red spots, where Jupiter has a lot of red spots. Neptune has rings, just like Saturn, Jupiter, and Uranus. And it is very cold there. It is the farthest planet from the sun. Wow, that is great. True, it doesn't get that. It does get a lot of sunlight, but not that much. Apparently. But if you want a planet with a lot with not a lot of sunlight, go to Neptune. It's very frigid cold, and there's a lot of cold winds there. But thanks for watching.